All right, Class A. You take a look at this. We've really got, in most of them, we've only got a few teams. We've got one full bracket and then a few teams in another bracket. 1A is really split right down the middle. So I want to take a look at Sectional 36. We've got South Adams against Monroe Central at South Adams in Week 1, Westhill at Union City, Tri-Central at LaPel, and then Southern Wells at Sheridan. This could be the year for South Adams. Their defense has been solid. They've only got one loss during the regular season. Do you see this as a possibility? Or is Sheridan, who's had a great history,
right,
is that a team that now that they're in that sectional may take control of that sectional a la Jimtown?
This is a very, very difficult sectional to project because there's a lot of good teams. Union City is 8-1, Sheridan strong this year, Tri-Central strong, Southern Wells isn't half bad, and South Adams obviously has had a phenomenal year. So there's a lot of teams that you could throw into a hat, draw one out, and say they'll win the sectional, and you'd be right. But you're right. Sheridan is on a 2-year drought after making 4 straight state championship games. So they're looking to kind of restore their legacy, so to speak. Union City is an up-and-coming program on a 4th-year coach who's gotten a little bit better each year, and now they've had a special year this year. South Adams, nobody projected they would be that competitive this year. The Pig at the New Sentinel thought they'd finish dead last in the ACAC, and they had a great year. So it's going to be very, very competitive. South Adams does have what it takes to win this sectional. They're good on both sides of the ball. Their only loss is to a 4A ranked Leo squad who didn't lose all year. So yes, South Adams has every bit as chance of anybody else of winning this sectional. I could very easily see them doing it.
Yeah, and I think you go back to the mantra of defense wins championships. They've been very good on the defensive side of the football, especially if you take out the Leo game, which is, as you mentioned, against a 4A team. And, it's going to be a question, I think, of when they face a good defense themselves down the road, are they going to be able to crank out enough points? And if they stop the running game against South Adams, can Dustin Warner, can he put it up in the air and throw for some touchdowns, throw for some first downs, and keep the chains moving? That's going to determine, I think, how their season goes and when it ends.
And as we always learn in the sectional and into the regional semi-states, the weather turns bad in Indiana. The teams that are able to run the ball really, really well are the ones that continue to advance. And that really looking forward to that Week 2 matchup with Union City, 8-1 right now. South Adams, 8-1. They'll both be 9-1 at that point. Just going to be a great, great matchup on that week. But yeah, you're right. The advantage goes to the teams that can run the ball at this time of year.
All right. Should be a very interesting week. Anything else that you're looking forward to, or any upset specials or things you think might be crazy here in Week 1?
Well, I don't know about crazy or not, but interesting matchups this week. The first one will be Whitko at Concordia Lutheran. Concordia obviously plays a much more difficult schedule than Whitko does in the Three Rivers Conference. So I think that the Cadets could kind of get a small victory here, kind of a little bit of momentum to build on to next year, win a sectional game. That'd be a lot of excitement for that program. And then a team to really look out for, I think, is East Noble. They haven't won all of their last 7 games, but they've always been competitive or they've won. And so they are in a very winnable sectional. There's not a real dominant team in that sectional that jumps out at you and says, oh, they're going to crush everybody. I would not be shocked if East Noble gets on a little bit of a roll. And again, a team that can run the ball very, very well and put up points. I would not be shocked if East Noble gets on a run and kind of makes their season and contends for a sectional championship.
I'll agree with you on East Noble. I had Whitko winning that first round game. Man, they took it to Tippy Valley this past week at Whitko. Yeah. Austin Moore at the running back position does a nice job. Stoddard at the quarterback position does a nice job. And Tippy Valley was pretty darn good going in.
Tippy Valley is a nice 3A program, or 2A. No, they're 3A. They're 3A program. But the Three Rivers Conference is not the SAC. There's a lot of winnable games in that for the Whitkos and Tippy Valleys. You've got your Northfields and North Miamis. North Miami's decent, but Manchester's down and Wabash is always down. And so that's just when you come over to Fort Wayne and play the big boys, it's a whole nother level.
All right, if Whitko wins, I'm going to give you I told you so. If Concordia wins, I'm not going to say anything. It'll be an interesting Week 2 of the postseason. He's Tom Davis. I'm Glenn Meridian. Thanks for logging on to Wayne.com.